How's it going? So in this video, I will be ranking every single trait that exists inside of Anime Dimensions at this very moment on a tier list. We've got 5 tiers right here. We have S, A, B, D, and F. S being obviously the best, F being obviously the worst. We're gonna start with the lowest traits first and then go all the way up. All right, starting off, we have Resolute. Lots of people may be saying, Salty, why Resolute? Also, I'm sorry for it being cut off like this. Why is damage reduction really bad? Well, to be fair, damage reduction itself is not bad. It's just that it could have been anything else. In Anime Dimensions, you want to focus on damage more than anything. If you get some damage reduction as like a sub thing, like for instance as a stat boost, that's great, that's good. But if you can put damage into a specific slot, it's best to do so. It's why the 5 best subs for cards and for pets as well, I guess, is attack, critical damage, critical chance, cooldown reduction, and assist cooldown reduction. It's because all 5 of those give you the most amount of damage that you possibly can get. So resolution is on the F tier. The next one that we have is regeneration, and these kind of go hand in hand, resolution and regeneration. Regeneration only gives you about 65% extra HP regen, and the reason why this is also bad is for the aforementioned, it could have been anything freaking else. 65% HP regeneration, not great. Honestly, if it was something like boss damage regen or something like that, it'd have been so much better. But 65% HP regen, not acceptable. Not a good trait. And now for the final trait on the F tier, but also for the best out of all of them, at least this is more my opinion. All 3 of these are equally bad, but we have Auspicious. And I'm going to put that at the very top of the F tier. The reason why I'm putting Auspicious above regeneration and resolution is because of the fact that Auspicious at least gives you an XP gain. So if you use like another, let's say another dimension main like Kokushibo, as opposed to Sung Jin Woo for the funnies, I guess, because why not? You at least get extra XP gain and a little bit of extra HP, but that's still not good. All right, now to move on to the D tier. And for the D tier, I only have 1 trait, and that is Celestial. Nah, I'm just kidding. I'll move that here in a moment. Actually, the 1 trait that I have for the D tier is Vampire. The reason why Vampire is on the D tier is because, yes, you do get that damage buff whenever your HP is at complete max, but for raids and for even dimensions, you're not going to be at 100% HP at all times. Your pinky toe of your character gets inside of a hitbox, it sucks, and you lose that buff every time you are not at 100 HP. Now, don't get me wrong. With Vampire, you do have great life leeching abilities. It could have been even any other mythical trait, which those are amazing. It's just that Vampire sucks. Now, I will say this. This is only for post-patch Vampire. Pre-patch Vampire would actually be at the S tier. The reason why is because there was a game-breaking bug with the Vampire trait that basically allowed players to do an absolutely ludicrous amount of damage. But that's the D tier. Moving on to the B tier is when we start getting into the really good traits. Starting with the worst in the D tier, we have Executioner. Executioner gives you, I think, about 6% mob damage and 9% boss damage. Yeah, no, I was right. So yeah, it's great. Boss damage is amazing. But the thing is with Executioner is that the 6% mob damage and the 9% boss damage does not affect your M1s. So depending on your character, that may not be ideal. Plus, attack, critical damage, critical chance, and all those are so much better. So Executioner is going into the B tier. It's a good trait. It's just that there are better. For the second best traits in the B tier, we have Speedster. Speedster is a very useful trait, but the thing is, it's not as good as, let's say, the next trait that we're gonna have. Speedster, great for both dimensions and also time challenge, if you actually care about time challenge. Speedster doesn't give you any extra buffs, but it does, however, increase the amount of cooldown reduction that you have on your stats, and also the amount of assist cooldown reduction, which is super duper nice. So Speedster is a trait that you're going to want to aim for if you're a time challenge aficionado or if you're just a hardcore dimension player. And on the topic of a better trait, let's go ahead and talk about the best trait in the B tier, Destruction. Destruction Legendary gives you an extra 9% base attack, and it is wonderful. Literally, it works on every single enemy. It works in time challenge, speed raid, you name it. Destruction is very versatile. Executioner is as well, but but the thing is, Executioner, once again, doesn't affect M1s. Destruction, however, does. Moving on to the A tier, we have Legendary Vicious. Vicious is in the A tier only because there are better traits. For those of you guys that don't know, Vicious gives you both critical chance and critical damage, which is a very good thing to aim for all game modes. Especially if you're a hardcore raid player, you're gonna want to get your hands a hold of as much critical chance and critical damage as you possibly can. So what could possibly be better than Vicious? Well, Godspeed. So the reason why Godspeed is higher than Vicious is also because of the fact that Godspeed gives you 10% cooldown reduction, which is insane, 15% assist cooldown reduction, and it also gives you half a second of dash cooldown, which is very handy in case you need to dodge. But once again, with the same problem that Speedster has, it may not necessarily be for you, especially if you don't really like playing Time Challenge. So I guess these two are kind of tied, so use whichever one fancies you. And for the best traits in the A tier, we have Slayer. Slayer is like Executioner, except so much better. Instead of giving you just 9% boss damage and 6% mobs damage, it gives you 15% boss damage, 12% mob damage, and it also gives you 15% extra damage for enemies above 15% HP. That's nuts. This trait is going to be a really good trait for those of you that like playing raids. Since the boss doesn't usually reach below 50% HP anyways, I would recommend aiming for Slayer if you want a really good trait to use. The thing is, it's not the best trait in the game, however. So if you get Slayer, you've got a good one, but if you can reroll for it, definitely do that. All right, so we have come down to the final 3 traits, and we are missing only the S tier. If you made it this far into the video and you didn't skip to the end of it, thank you very much. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content, because I will be doing more content like this. But if you did skip to this part, honestly, I can't be mad at you. You want to see if the traits are good or not. Still, like the video though. Let's start with the worst trait in the S tier. Reaper. Now, just because it's the worst trait in the S tier doesn't mean it is necessarily a bad trait. It's in the S tier for a reason. Reaper is basically a super powerful version of Vicious. And in fact, it gives you 10% critical chance, 18% critical damage, and plus 1% damage per 100 combo. That only stacks up to about 10%, but that's an extra 10% damage if you can keep up a good combo, which is awesome. This is a golden combo for like high level players. So if that's the worst trait in the S tier, what are the second best and the best traits? Well, I'm basically just gonna answer this question right here, but the second best trait in the game is Partner. And I guess that's not entirely true. I'm gonna put Celestial and Partner at the same rarity. In fact, these probably could get even a tier by themselves because of how good they are. Let's go ahead and talk about these two, and I'll explain why they're the top ranking in the entire tier list. Celestial. It is the rarest trait in the game at this moment, and for dang good reason. This trait gives you 10% extra attack, 10% extra team attack, 10% extra critical chance, 8% cooldown reduction, and a chance to fire Celestial swords when attacking. But the thing is, something that's special about both Celestial and Partner, however, is the fact that they have 2 hidden attributes. Like, they're not on the available traits page when you look at the traits list. Serious, look at it and you won't see these. The reason why these are cool is because these 2 traits are the only 2 traits in the entire game that you can put on assists and it affects your main. Here's what you can do to set up a very good team. Have both Awakened Kirito and Awakened Saber. Have both of them have Partner. And not only are you going to be getting an extra 15% boss damage and a 15% extra attack from Saber and Kirito's Awakenings, you are also going to be getting an extra 30% attack on top of those 2. And it works. At least the 15% damage affects Partner. You do get it with Celestial as well, but it's only 10%. So combine these 2 traits together and you have an insane team. Use Celestial for your main, use Partner for your assists, and yeah, enjoy the big deeps. So this is the entire tier list. What do you guys think? Do you guys agree with it? Do you guys disagree with it? Would you guys rank a trait in another spot? Either way, let me know down in the comments below. But if you enjoyed this video, then make sure to go watch this video right here. YouTube thinks you should go watch it, so hey, why don't you do YouTube a favor and go watch it? But without further ado, thanks for watching.